Tim Pool seems to what? Oh God.
So if you recall at the end of the debate that I had with Tim Pool, I was pretty tired at that point, but he tried to bring up his latest fixation, which is that that liberal women are less attractive than conservative women because liberal women are more likely to, if you're liberal, you're more likely to sympathize with people who are disadvantaged because you're also unattractive. And, you know, I had half a mind to say to him, Tim, is this your way of calling me ugly? Just to see how he would respond. And if I were to do it over again for the lols, I definitely would. But at that point, I wanted to get the hell out of there. And it is interesting to see that he still has this bee in his bonnet. He's obsessed with, like, the quality of women and the relationship between women and men in dating situations. He's now brought on those, like, what guy, fresh cut guys? What's the name of those guys?
Fresh and Fit, yeah.
Fresh and Fit. And they were talking about, you know, high quality men versus high quality women, and, you know, you got to get a Bugatti, all this stuff. He's really,
I think on some level you're being unfair. You got to remember, Tim is moving into adolescence now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And this is when a lot of those issues come up in your, you know, as you exit your tween years emotionally. But here's Tim Pool.
From the Daily Mail. They say, Bryce Adams, 29, from Florida, joined the adult content site. Oh, it's so brutal. OnlyFans tried to be legit. And in just 2 years, she has turned into a booming business, earning herself millions of dollars along the way, as well as a legion of avid followers. She raked in $6.4 million last year and gained a whopping $60,000 just for one live stream. Here's what I love about this. You know, I often think about these women who are like, they have that video walking through New York for 5 hours as a woman, and all the guys are like, how you doing? Like, what up? Like, guys following her. Some of it was benign. Some of it was kind of creepy. And it's funny because I've talked about this before. Men do suffer the same thing, but men are valued for their social status, not for their attractiveness, mostly. So, you know, a hot guy walking down the street might have a girl say something, but probably not. Men are the ones who typically do the pursuing. But here's the funny thing.
Hey, nice beanie.
If
oh, that ollie that you did? I'm going to bed right now, baby. I bet that's happened to him a ton.
Oh, yeah.
You know why it's a bit different in terms of experiences for women and men and getting catcalled on the street? I don't really believe men get catcalled for their social status, but we'll put that aside for now.
Yeah, nice watch.
I've heard this, and I'm paraphrasing, right? Someone said this at one point to me, and so I'm misattributing. I don't know where the quote comes from, but that a man's greatest fear is that a woman will make fun of him or reject him, and a woman's greatest fear is that a man will kill them. And it seems a little old-fashioned in a sense, but there is some truth there too. The reason catcalling is a little bit more problematic for women is because women have a fear of getting sexually assaulted by men, and that has been borne out by history, by sexual crimes.
It's what the catcalling might be a prelude to, which is like a violent attack.
Exactly. And so I love how he starts off as like, some of it's threatening, some of it's acceptable. Tim, how did you make that determination? How did you make that determination? But anyway,
I just, for some context, this Bryce, whatever her name is, makes $6.4 million over the whole course of the year on the platform as one of the most liked creators on OnlyFans. I'll just say, OnlyFans owner reportedly earned $1.3 million per day in bonuses last year. That does not include, that is over 260 work days, does not include his salary. So.
And I would also suggest that Tim Pool is probably making a very similar amount of money, and just like showing off, really just exposing his stupidity on a daily basis. It's more or less the same business model, just a slightly different
Yeah,
part of the body.
I do just want to say, like, if you're a young man and the sort of issues of loneliness are affecting you, like the point, like Tim Pool is not going to solve that. He wants you to continue watching Tim Pool, which you are not going to do if you ever get into a relationship and socialize. So he's going to continue leading you into cul-de-sacs. But
All right, continue.
Mostly. So, you know, a hot guy walking down the street might have a girl say something, but probably not. Men are the ones who typically do the pursuing. But here's the funny thing. If you are a beautiful young woman and you walk down the street, guys probably going to holler at you. That's what they find socially desirable. If you are a man of no social standing, that's it. But what if you're a guy who jumps out of a suit wearing Armani, jumps out of a McLaren or whatever,
A Bugatti.
puffs your shirt a little bit, turns around, gives a wink, and you've got jewelry, then you're going to get people trying to ask you questions. And it's a fact. It is absolutely a fact. I was hanging out. We went to go eat in, where were we? We were in Leesburg, Virginia.
Getting sushi.
And I'm hanging out with the boys.
Oh my God.
And, you know, like some of the people in the crew dress up and look the part, I guess. Successful, well-known individuals that we're hanging out with. And sure enough, we have dudes walking up being like, do I know you from somewhere? Like, you look like you rock star, man.
Pause it for a second. Wait a second. Wasn't
like dudes.
what wasn't this story supposed to be about how people of the opposite sex will pay? Like, isn't he building this all up to women? You'll pay attention to him because he has all the accoutrement of success. And his
Aren't you a
boys,
rock star?
Yeah, you're
his boys are walking out, and he's just attracting like teenage boys.
like, oh, sick. You got the McLaren, you got the pimp suit.
McLaren, like
Everything he's saying, like, this is what kind of makes me pity him to a degree, is like, he really thinks that that's what's going to make men desirable to women. I mean, dude, you're really listening to the wrong people. I don't. He's called.
Hey, aren't you the guy who's saying "Only Ever Wanted"? The music through that shitty filter.
Oh my God!
The
But I
dude
just
called
also
me
I love all the accoutrements of
Yeah.
success are like Bugatti or McLaren, and you come
Rings
out,
on four
you got your
fingers.
rings, and you got like the whole like it's.
The dude called me a pedophile. I shouldn't have sympathy for him, but it's like it's almost as if someone is doing some sort of psychological operation on a impressionable adult men as to what they can do to repel women most by dressing and acting like the biggest douchebags possible, but being told the entire time that this is desirability.
If you're not socializing with women, like the solution is to get into context where you're making friends and socializing with women. It's not to get an expensive car and put on jewelry.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what's sort of fascinating. It's like literally like the idea of being involved with. I mean, in Tim Pool's life, it's specifically, you know, women. If you're a man, it's specifically women. But the idea of like getting into a relationship, it's like forget anything other. If we could just have a spray, and that would it. In the absence of a spray that you could wear, all you need to do is get a bunch of stuff that makes you look rich. And that's how you get girls, man.
I mean, and underlying all of it is just trickery. I mean, that's the only way that they feel like they can hook up, is if you trick a woman into thinking that you aren't a total douche. And that's just not the way to do things.
Also,
Maybe
like
just
consuming, like buy expensive stuff,
Totally.
ostentatious, like
Exactly.
consumption.
You know what women like? For the most part, it's if you're in touch with your feelings and, you know, don't behave in certain ways and you understand how to treat her like a full-fleshed human being. That has nothing to do with buying jewelry and buying a fancy car.
Humans generally like to be treated well and just be like that's how you develop like any type of relationship.
Human relationship with anybody.
But it's setting
Yes,
up to be unhappy if you're saying like the deciding factor here between this woman giving you time and not giving you time is your ostentatious display of wealth.
Right.
Like even if she does give you the time, then because of that, that's not going to be a happy.
Well,
right,
and if
so
your
go back.
basis, but just really quick, last point, if your basis for human connection is you providing your wealth for the rest of your kind of crew to hang out at the compound and skate, and for the most part they're hanging out there because they're the boys,
boys.
They look like rock stars.
right? They're all hanging out with you too, Tim. I got to tell you, because of things that don't have a ton to do with your personality.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
projecting that onto women, okay.
That's why he doesn't wear any bling, so that he can make sure that his friends are real. Go back a little bit. Remember, he's explaining some dynamic between men and women, and here it is.
Just imagine, get out of the Bugatti, you got the jewelry, you got the beanie on.
Now, we went to go eat in, where were we? We were in Leesburg, Virginia. And I'm hanging out with the boys, and, like some of the people in the crew dress up and look the part, I guess. Successful, well-known individuals that we're hanging out with. And sure enough, we have dudes walking up being like, do I know you from somewhere? Like, you look like you rock star, man. It's like, guys will get that stuff, but it's based on social status. So here's the funny thing about all this. I'm looking at her income and how many fans she has. Like, she sells her body, she does porn online, and she gets a big following, makes money. Then you have other people. Guys, what do guys do? Guys talk politics.
Talk shit on YouTube.
Charismatic, ideas, work, subjects. Objects. Women, subjects. And it's like, I see this thing. Now, hey, look, man. Here's what I'm saying. I ain't got no beef with this lady. She wants to be a digital prostitute. For real, I don't mean that as a dig. I'm saying, hey, you do you, lady. You sell what you got. She got $6.4 million. You think she cares?
Putting on this accent.
Hey, you do you. You do you, lady.
Hey, what was the boy? Shh. Is he trying to do some sort
wasn't
of...
his whole point that he was leading up to was that women use their physical attractiveness to get attention from men, and men use their exhibits of their success to get attraction from women? But his example was just some teenagers coming up going like, are you a rock star?
Yeah. And
why are you dressed so ridiculously?
And men, they all talk on the internet for and talk about substance, all men. This is definitely not about me.
Men will they'll talk about Jussie Smollett for eight months.
You never see a woman online talking about politics.
You would
it just
never.
Doesn't happen. Never.
Never.
All right, continue.
I'm saying, hey, you do you, lady. You sell what you got. She got $6.4 million. You think she cares about your opinion? My point is only this. Many more women are going to say, I don't want to be the CEO. I don't want to work on a petroleum rig. I don't want to be a lawyer and argue, man. A lot of these things are things that guys like doing. Complaining on the internet, talking about big ideas, talking about policy.
Sorry, can we just pause one? Sorry, Bradley, but we're putting talking shit on YouTube, which is what I do for a living.
I love it, yeah.
We're putting that in the same sort of tranche as working on an oil rig at sea.
Gotta say, I couldn't work on an oil rig. Don't think that's within my skill set. But we're getting to the conclusion now, which is that women are only they're not going to want to do this anymore. They're not valuable outside of the home or outside of their sexual performance as a sex worker on OnlyFans.
55% of people in law school are women.
They're going to get sick of it, though, Sam. They're going to see this.
And then where are we going to be left when they all decide, I can't take this?
I can't take this. I'm going to do OnlyFans.
They're gonna need desirable men like Tim at that point. Just wait, audience. The women will come once they realize law school isn't worth it.
I quit law school because I am going to find a guy who's got a Bugatti.
These numbers need breaking down too a little bit. Like I just mentioned, the guy's making $1.3 million on bonuses. The owner of this on bonuses per day. But this is one of the main OnlyFans creators that drives traffic to this place. She's getting $6.4 million. I gotta say, just looking at it as an accountant, I'd say probably you have a few years like that of making that high amount. And then it's going to level off. So this is going to need to last you your entire life. So this idea that, and also she's the very top, which means that this idea that any woman could just start selling pictures of her feet and then make a living is such a hysterical, misogynistic,
it's insane.
Sort of fever. It's unbelievable. The internet, talking about big ideas, talking about policy. I think this OnlyFans is going to create basically piping to a conduit. Better way to describe it.
Sure.
By which feminists who don't like the 9-to-5 grind but just want to be independent and have money realize, hey man, I don't need to answer to a boss. I can just do adult activities online, boom, with OnlyFans. And you know what? The average woman who does it doesn't make that much money. True, most people who try to start their own business ain't gonna make much money no matter what they do. But this lady, she figures it out. Maybe it's because people find her to be the most attractive or whatever, or she just does the raunchiest, nastiest stuff, and that's worth money. Whatever, man. Doesn't matter. There will be various tiers. Just because she makes $6.4 million doesn't mean everybody else is making nothing. Just because you hear about most women making mostly nothing, like 20 to 200 bucks, doesn't mean that the average woman can't make this work. My point. Feminism is in trouble because there's going to be a lot of women who can easily pull in $40,000 to $50,000 per year doing this stuff, and they will. And they're going to be thinking to themselves, I may not be making $1 million, but I barely have to do anything, post a couple of videos, get some subscribers, and now I'm good. You know why I think this? Because I've known a handful of people, women, who were working normal jobs.
I know women.
And I knew this one woman, and one day, she's like, I think I'm going to try and do cam stuff. And I'm like,
she lives in Canada.
For real? And she's like, yeah, I think I make good money. And I'm like, okay, dude. I was really surprised to hear that somebody would actually entertain doing that because, or that these people that I know, because I'm like, I did not expect this person who worked, like a mid-level manager job to say that to me. And this was years ago. This was before OnlyFans. This was back when they had those like trashy cam websites.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think the reality is there are a lot of women who don't care. They absolutely will show off their bodies for money and even engage in lewd and lascivious activities behind a paywall for cash.
All right, pause it. I'm done. I'm done with this. Okay, so, but...
Hold on, I've got a whole thing of notes here. This is the most insane thing I've ever heard.
That, his friend that does camp stuff that goes to a different school. You wouldn't know her.
And I lost track of her. I don't know.
Well, to be fair, I just want to
give your email address.
Let me just recount a little bit, and then you can make your comment. So I can just recount.
Okay.
He finally gets to, and he says this like 12 times throughout this video. My point is. And each time it's not a point at all. There's no point. He's like, keeps punting the point. But here he is. The point is feminists are in trouble. Mm-hmm. And then he says, why? Because there are going to be feminists who can make $40,000 or $50,000 on this camp. Like, and then to substantiate this, he says, I know a handful of people. Well, a handful of women. Well, actually, it was one woman who said that she was going to go do the camp stuff. Now, this is actually years and years ago. And she went on to do lewd and lascivious stuff. That's where we're at. This is like, the feminists are going to be in trouble because all the women are going to go to OnlyFans. That's what he's suggesting.
But why would feminism be in trouble? See, Tim, you don't really have a great concept of feminism. Feminism is if a woman is engaging in like doing sexual acts for people who are subscribing to her content, does that undercut feminism? Because he seems to think that it does. Like, he seems to think that it's not empowering for some women, which it is. Yep. He seems to think that it's not their own choice. And he also seems to think that women
also think the market can sustain.
Yes.
Everybody doing
this. Yeah.
The average woman.
It is.
I came to work today and I realized, like, where's my manager? Gone. None of us have a manager anymore. We have no manager. 55% of the lawyers are gone. Where is everybody? They're all doing OnlyFans. Making OnlyFans, and they're making so much money.
And he can't see. This is why Tim
it's going to be
has
a problem
trouble with women.
For all of society, if all of the women end up doing OnlyFans, and that's the only job. We're going to have like no nurses, no doctors, no teachers, no engineers, no lawyers. They're all going to be doing OnlyFans.
Yeah. I was really close friends with this. I was really close friends with this international supermodel that lived a few towns over. And she told me one day, she's like, I think feminism might be in real big trouble because I can make money on the internet now.
He doesn't even know. He doesn't even register the concept that women may want to not be seen as sexual objects and may want to have their own careers where they have passions. Like, I mean, men are the only ones that talk on the internet. I'm a woman that talk on the internet. I like doing this, and that's why I do
that
it.
work for him.
Even though maybe in theory I could do freaking cam stuff and make more money. I don't know if that's even true, but I don't want to do that, so I do this. Like, but it's not a big secret that once it gets revealed that every woman is going to flock and do that. That's just how little he thinks of women, is that they're sexual objects, and once they figure out they can be sexual objects for men.
You can make
women
We
don't
gotta
know
go.
that.
Women have never realized that men sexualize them. Women have never figured that out.
Don't tell 'em.
He started the video saying that women get catcalled more than men, and then men. But like, it's not coherent in any way.
I didn't realize I could monetize this to the tune of $40,000 or $50,000 a year. I'm out of
Right.
here.
Every minute you listen to Tim just talk complete bullshit that's often contradictory about this sort of stuff is minute you're not in a social environment where you could be making friends that could be connecting with you. That's also looking for like love, maybe.
Yeah.
I know. It really, honestly, like, I think we're riding the precipice as to whether we're doing a service by going over this stuff. But a lot of people, a lot of young men watch Tim Pool, and you don't want this stuff to be dominating their consciousness.
You don't want him to be the model for young men.
All right, should we finish this out? Was he go
I
anywhere?
think that's
after this?
it. I think that's Bradley says that's it. Yeah.
Is there no? Just do 20 seconds.
Yeah, he doesn't do this stuff without preparing a coup de grace at the end.
Yeah, isn't there going to be like or did we already have it?
The thesis statement.
He just
Even
wants
engage in lewd and lascivious activities behind a paywall for cash
Activities.
when given the opportunity. Would this woman be a porn star or prostitute before OnlyFans? I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, it's possible. There are a lot of porn stars and prostitutes. I'm saying that now you're going to start seeing many, many more women.
Many.
I think one of the reasons why she makes as much money as she does is she talks about how no censorship, full face, everything is shown, all raw. You can watch it happen.
This is not new.
Okay, there are guys who want to pay for that. Welcome to the baser reality of what men want and what women want. I don't know, feminists. I think you're in trouble. I think feminists and
a real
leftists
problem.
need to really come
Scroll
out and
down
be
on that,
like,
please.
nah,
Thank you.
we don't like what OnlyFans is doing. Because if this lady's making all this money, you are going to start seeing less and less women in the workplace, more and more men. There it is.
Psychotic.
She
There it
told
is.
Insider that she goes live almost every day now. Once a month,
think
she'll
this is
special
just
live.
mad.
She calls a marathon.
You know
It
what?
lasts for
This is we got his point now because it's clear. This is just an excuse for him to
show the
study
pictures.
the pictures.
Yeah.
I've had to go over this article like 25 times. I had it last night before I went to bed. I was reading it.
And isn't she disgusting?
In the shower.
Isn't she-
I had
Pictures
to.
of her pulling her butt
How
cheeks
could she
apart.
do this? How could she participate in making this content for me that I am actively consuming?
Yeah.
What a disgusting
That I'm going to put in the
whore.
thumbnail, definitely.
Yep.
You know what it sounds like? Tim wants a free account. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
You have a coupon
Oh, Tim
code?
has a account. I mean, there's a Tim Pool OnlyFans account for research purposes, of course.
Of course. Somebody's got to do the work to see what's going to happen.
Look at
to
all
the
this
feminists.
lasciviousness going on. I gotta pay $10 for some more lasciviousness.
God. Oh my God. I wonder, does he,
Oh, there's a deal on
After-
lasciviousness today.
Bradley, after the show, will you or Matt watch to see if he has a timeline of like when we're going to get to the OnlyFans apocalypse where there's like,
Economy.
oh, yeah.
Matt,
we're-
Sam, you're gonna make Bradley watch more of that crap?
I'll
I can't bring
Why isn't the
myself
Fed
to-
concerned about this?
there's only 2 minutes left. It's not that bad.
All right. Next, we'll see.
We'll have to check in and see how many women flee the economy to go to flee industry to go to OnlyFans. I got to hand it to him. It's pretty amazing.
Did you know that?
And
there's-
liberals, incidentally, liberals and feminists have to worry about this. Like, what about all the money that men are going to be spending on all of these OnlyFans sites?
I like the implication that like it wasn't until OnlyFans that like raw pornography existed. Like the Larry Flint is like, is he still even alive? Like,
Well, I think his point is that you can be more the bar to entry
Decentralized.
is much lower.
They should be happy about that.
And that is true. That is true. The bar to entry is much lower.
It's
And
good.
everything else he said was not true about it's going to be a problem for feminists or that there's going to be this massive flood of women who are going to quit their jobs to go do this. It's just dumb. I mean, it's just a dumb. I could stipulate 90% of what he says, and still everything he's saying is stupid. The fact that it's an easy bar to entry, even if there was that many dollars out there chasing those many, naked people, or buying underwear or shots of feet or whatever it is. Well, why wouldn't people just do it part time? Like, why would they quit
even
their
that
job?
woman, even Bryce here says she has to go live almost every day now. And I can promise you one thing. She's not doing that because she loves it every day. It's because that's how the money works.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so stupid. It's just so stupid. And how is it not a problem? Feminists, liberals, watch out. Or is it really just going to be feminists and liberals going on to,
Yes.
who are the guys watching this?
Right.
I mean, honestly, let's break it down. Who are the guys watching this? We can find data on porn consumption in amongst conservatives, and I've got some bad news for Tim Pool, because what's going to happen with conservatives, of course, is they're all going to be watching all of these feminists on OnlyFans, and they're going to leave their jobs or they're going to go into bankruptcy because of all the money they're spending. So watch out, conservatives. I'm sorry. I needed
that laugh for sure.
I needed that, Tim Pool. That's what the fun half is for all the depressing, horrible news that we have in the rest of the show. Palate cleanser. We'll always have Tim Pool to. I like the idea that Tim Pool's talking about policy. Someone sent me a clip of Tim Pool talking about policy. Policy, as in you get invited to the bunker, you go and have sushi and watch me do some tricks on the skateboarding. That's the policy here.
Yeah.
And some people break policy. Isn't that right, Emma?
I guess so.
Well, that's the policy. I talk policy. Gotta have sushi with the boys.
Yeah, I still don't get that. Still don't
The
get
boys.
that.
Yeah.
Anyways, I have got to go hang out with my boys here in
Vegas, not even
Vegas.
Leesburg.
Yeah, exactly. I rented my McLaren for the week.
Oh yeah.
And yeah,
Got a high
Driving up
rolling
and
in
down the strip.
Vegas. Yeah, you're gonna throw dollar bills outside your car.
I take my rings off for the bling for the show.
Sam parallel parking on the strip right in front of some women.
And what I like to do is I put it.
Dust him, Sam.
I put it in neutral and I give a couple of 3-point park. I can't believe he's an adult.
I know.
37 years old.
Well, I mean, really, it's your late 30s where you really get.
Where you got to take the beanie off and grow up a
You
little.
can't.
What women love is a clearly compensatory hair piece of headwear that you never take off.
Folks, it's your support that makes the show possible. Forget it. Emma, what's on ESPN?
We did a full NFL breakdown on Tuesday. Picks against the spread today. Also a little NHL preview because Bedard scored his first goal last night. The biggest, prospect to come into the league since Connor McDavid potentially. So youtube.com/ESPN show at 4 p.m. today.
Tom from Yakubia says, honest question, does Tim Pool have a 9-year-old inside of him pulling levers and pushing buttons?